What's up, guys? Ryan here with Tampa Carry. So I have got a pretty cool gun I've been waiting to shoot for a long time. It is the Sig P365 XL. You remember the original P365? So it holds 10 rounds. Had a lot of problems when this gun first came out, but most of those problems seem to have been fixed. Now there's some major differences. When you're holding the standard P365, you can see that my hand does not all the way fit onto that frame. And then also the barrel is pretty short because this is really designed for concealed carry, right? Well, the XL model is just a little bit different. So you can see that more of my hand actually fits onto the frame of the gun. And the barrel is also quite a bit longer. So if we compare this to the original, you can see, so probably half an inch, which isn't that big of a deal, but it is gonna give the bullet more muzzle velocity and of course increase accuracy at a distance. So normally the P365 XL comes with 12 plus 1 rounds of ammunition, and then this is a 15 round magazine. So with the 15 round mag, I mean, it gives you quite a bit, and it's a pretty small gun for 15 rounds of ammunition. So let's shoot it. Let's see what we think. Okay, so I'm about 10 yards away or so. So we're gonna try a drill that kind of drives me nuts a little bit. It's called the finger placement drill. So I'm gonna start off in the extended shooting position. My finger's gonna be on the slide, and then I'm gonna quickly move over to the trigger and then fire that shot. Okay, now I'm gonna move and start to the trigger, but not taking up any slack. Okay, and now I'm gonna start on the trigger while taking up that slack. Okay, cool. Let's try it on some small plate. Nice, pretty badass. You wanna shoot it? Okay, so before you shoot it though, we're gonna do this drill. We're gonna see what you think about this drill because I hate it, all right? I hate it, which means you're gonna hate it too. So you're gonna start off with your finger on the frame there, extend the gun all the way. Okay, finger on the slide. And when I give the up command, then you're gonna move your finger to the trigger and fire one shot at the target, okay? Up. Okay, so now you're gonna begin with your finger touching the trigger, but not taking up any slack. So touching the trigger, no slack, and on up, you're gonna fire. Up! Okay, good. So now you're gonna start with your finger on the trigger, taking up the slack, and on the up command, you'll fire. Up! What do you think about that drill?
I like it.
You like it? Okay, let's try it in a further distance. Okay, so now we're probably about 15 yards or so away. Oh, I ran out of ammunition during a gunfight, dude. You'd be dead. Dead. Did you see you saw the church shooting in Texas, right?
Yes.
Did you see the meme that came out right after that? It said, F a reload, shoot him in the face. No? It's awesome, dude. Makes me proud to be an American. So as you guys know, the majority of self-defense shootings are gonna occur between about 9 and 15 feet. So do you really have to have this longer barrel to be able to accurately take defensive shots at 9 to 15 feet? I think the answer is no. It's pretty easy, but let's put it to the test. Let's see and compare the standard P365 to the XL and see if we really notice an accuracy difference. So we're gonna aim at the high center chest of our USCCA target here. So we've already got 2 hits on the target. So we're gonna count those ones out and we're gonna go about 15 yards away, which I think is, I counted all this out yesterday. I think that's about this. This is actually 16. Okay, so you're gonna go first, fire that whole mag right at that high center chest, and we're gonna see how good he does. Oh, you need a magazine? Yeah. That's one of those weird things about guns. Kind of like a car without gas. All right, sound of freedom. Okay, so most of the hits there are impacting pretty low, which tells me that you're anticipating that recoil, you're slapping it, which means you gotta really slow down and pull that trigger smooth and consistent. You know, I found it really fascinating. Most of you guys know I recently went to a Larry Vickers advanced pistol course, and it's funny, I paid $800 to go to this class. The number one thing that Larry talked about in this $800 course with Special Forces guys, SWAT team members, all these high-speed dudes, was pulling that trigger smooth and consistent. It's one of the biggest issues that gun owners have, but you want to imagine, like I'll just point this right at the camera, when you're pressing that trigger, the goal is that that front sight does not move, right? And here's what happens. There's two kind of theories of why people anticipate the recoil. Number one, your brain does not like the fact that you have this massive explosion happening so close to your face. So psychologically, you're trying to just rush through it and get it over with quickly, right? It's kind of like sex. No? Yeah. I have a mission. I want this done. I have an agenda. So that's the same thing that happens with the gun, right? The other thing that happens is we have two objects we're looking at. So you have the rear sight, and then you have that front sight. And the front sight is bouncing around. You saw that, right, when you were looking through it? Now, that bouncing around is really psychological. It's moving, but it's not moving as much as you think it's moving. So what happens is people try to time when the sights are gonna line up, and then once it gets there, they go boom, and they just slap that trigger real quick. But if you were to just press it smooth and consistent, you would get an accurate hit, okay? So now I'm gonna try the shooting at the exact same area. I'm gonna use the standard P365, which is, you know, ½ inch smaller, and we'll see what kind of grouping I can get right inside of that high center chest. All right, so I must have been kind of hitting that slide release a little bit because it didn't lock to the rear on the last round. So, a little bit better. There were 2 shots in there, right? Already, right? Mm-hmm. I think. So I think those 2 shots were there already. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 out of 10, and maybe, I don't know what those were. So again, pressing that trigger smooth and consistent is a really big deal. So that was at 15 yards away with a pretty small gun, which is kind of challenging. Let's try the same thing on some steel, and let's see how the steel goes. You got another mag? Smooth and consistent. Nice. Awesome. It's tough, huh? It's tough. So that's an 8-inch plate. We're probably a little over 15 yards away. So now I'm gonna try it with the original P365, and we'll see what I can do here. All right, that's pretty tough, pretty challenging. You saw even that last time that I pulled and it was actually empty, you saw the barrel drop down a little bit. So that just shows you that anticipation, right? Yes. Got to pull it smooth and consistent. So one other thing that's really badass about the P365 XL is it actually comes with a removable plate here on the rear so that you can install a pistol optic, which is pretty neat. Now, my buddy Gabe, this is his carry gun. So this is the holster that he bought. So it's made by TXC Holsters. Pretty neat. I haven't really seen much like this. Now, if you guys have watched my holster training video, I really dislike holsters that have a thin single belt clip. How does this feel in your pants? Like when you're wearing it, does it move? Does it tilt back and forth? Okay, so that's my big concern with them, and he's saying that it doesn't tilt, which is pretty neat. So I definitely like the P365 XL. I think it's a cool gun. Definitely a lot of capacity for such a small little pistol. So it's definitely got a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep training and stay safe.